rock stars? Coach Betty Rocker here. Welcome to today's upper body and abs super circuits. I am so excited to do this workout with you. I'm doing it at home today. Just a couple pieces of resistance to help me along and get a little bit more out of this workout. Of course, you could use anything from water bottles, water jugs, laundry jugs to dumbbells if you have some at home. All of these work great. And I've also got an ottoman from my living room over here with me. And if you happen to be in your living room, you could be using the side of your couch or a chair, pretty much anything that will give you a little bit of elevation in case you want to do some of the plank poses with your hands on the side of your couch for a little bit of support for your shoulders if you're not quite ready to be all the way down on the mat. Always a good idea to support yourself and give yourself great options. We're gonna actually start out with a couple of rounds of two awesome moves that are gonna really get you fully into your body. So we're gonna start with a down dog flow to plank, which comes to us from yoga. And if you'd feel more comfortable, you can certainly balance your hands on the side of your couch to start with, pressing your hips up high to the sky and back, feeling a nice stretch as you sink your heels right down to the floor, and then coming forward into a tall plank, making sure you're not looking down or up, and then sending your hips back again and floating back forward into a tall plank. Now, whether you're up against the side of your couch or you're down on the mat, doing this little flow back and forth, as you come into your plank, keep your gaze nice and neutral. Make sure your hands are stacked just below your shoulders and to your plank, and make sure that you have a nice flat back, no arched or sagging spines. Now I want you to invite you, if you like, to float one of your legs up as you come back into your down dog, and then place it back down beside your other foot as you come into your plank, and then repeat that on the opposite side. So you get a little alternative leg stretch as you go back and forth between these two great moves. Notice that you have a nice even weight distribution through your finger pads. Notice that you're gonna allow your heels to sink down towards the mat as you come into your down dog, your three-legged down dog, which is of course optional. Feel free to stick with both feet down if that's more comfortable. We're just doing a couple more each side, just really feeling that body, getting into this little mobility and flexibility drill. Absolutely fine to do it in a few different ways. Hands on the side of your couch or down on the floor. Let's do one more on the last leg. Very nice. All right, come to tabletop. And we're gonna go ahead and grab a couple of resistance objects. I recommend the lightest ones that you have as we're getting just started here. We're gonna come into a little squat with a back pull row. So we're gonna wanna be driving our elbows up and be back behind us evenly. And we're gonna start out by bringing our shoulders back and down into their sockets. From here, we're gonna engage our core, just like we did in a nice plank pose down on the floor so that we don't have an arched back. We're not in a shovel butt position. We just have a nice neutral spine and a little bit of bracing in our abs. And then our feet are just a little bit wider than hip distance. From this position, send your hips back as if you were gonna sit down in a chair. And as you come up, draw your elbows up and back evenly. Nice, squat and drive the elbows back. Squat, drive the elbows back. Now you're welcome to add a little bit of a squeeze in your glutes each time you come up, just to really start firing up those glutes. Go ahead and check in with your weight distribution between both of your feet. How is that feeling? Did you notice that you were maybe rotated to one side or the other? Go ahead and just check in and make sure that your knees are tracking in line over those toes. Now we generally keep our weight a little bit back as if we were gonna sit down in a chair, because that tends to sort out exactly the right natural position for your knees to be in. If they're a little bit over your toes, it's not the end of the world. We're not carrying a huge amount of weight right now, but just be aware of that, because if you're finding that your squat form has you more bending over as opposed to squatting back and down, that's definitely something to work on and focus on for the future before you do add any additional resistance. We want to really line ourselves up as we're squatting down, as if we're sitting down, keeping our back up nice and straight. Last two and one. Nicely done. We're going to go right back to that first move that we started with, the down dog to the plank. So again, feel free to use the elevated surface or join me down on the mat setting ourselves up in a tall plank. Couple things about the plank. Make sure that you're not rounding your entire body upwards just because you're adding a little bit of engagement to your lower body. You want to have a nice mobility here in your shoulders. From here, you also want to make sure your quads are really fired up and active. And if you're feeling impatient right now, why doesn't you just get on with it? I'll tell you what, working on setting up a really strong plank, I already feel the sweat coming because you have to really pay attention to all of these muscles that you're engaging if you're going to do it correctly and get the most out of it. Just holding a plank is a workout in and of itself. All right, great job. From here, send your hips back. Enjoy that for a moment, and then you can go a little bit more quickly. Feel free to start right out with those leg floaters. Just coming back each time into that strong plank position. Making sure your hands are stacked just below your shoulders. Beautiful work. And one other option I have for you is when you come into your floated three-legged dog, you can add a little pike push-up as you come into that. So let your elbows come out to the side and flow down into that little dolphin press or pike push-up before coming back to your tall plank. And really maintain that excellent form. Quads are engaged, our gaze is nice and neutral, we're not cranking our head down or up. I may have forgotten to add a pike push-up there once or twice, but that is a-okay. We're here to be flawsome, not perfect every time, right? Work towards exceptional with your form. That's the one piece that I want to nail. If you miss your count or you don't get the perfect amount on each side, that's nothing to worry about. Last one, and come back down to tabletop. Great job. Now, this is round 2 of our squats to back pull row. And I invite you to add a little cardio at this round. So I'm gonna stick with my really light weighted objects. And I'm gonna, this time, and you have the option, you can stick with exactly what we did in round 1, which is lower impact, or you can squat it down, and each time you come up, you can pop your feet in and then jump them back out. So you're getting your cardio system going and warm, so we're really, really smashing this workout from the start. Great job. In and out, landing lightly. This is totally optional. And remember, if you're doing this, same good form applies. Our head and neck stay upright. We keep our chest up, shoulders back, and nice and even press back with those shoulders. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent work. All right, bend the knees. Setting down the weighted objects. Moving on to our next super circuit. So our first move, we're gonna isolate the biceps. I need a little sip of water after those jumps. Feel free to join me. Feeling good. Okay, I'm gonna pick up some more weighted objects. Use whatever you've got. If you are familiar with doing your bicep curls and you know and you have a good set of dumbbells that you like to do, we're gonna be going for 8 to 12 reps. And I want you to position yourself up against your wall. And I want you to make sure that your shoulders are touching your wall. And if you've never done your bicep curls this way before, you may notice that it's a little more challenging. It's gonna force you to really isolate the heads of your biceps. Go ahead and begin. Both arms curling up towards your shoulders. I've got my lower back gently pressed into the wall. I have a slight bend in my knees. My feet are out just a little ways from the wall. Great job curling up, keeping those shoulders pressed back into the wall. So good. Now what this does is it forces you out of any roundness in your shoulders. And we get that sometimes just from all our daily activities. Our chest muscles just get a little stronger and overpower our back muscles. Last 2 for me, pulling us into that rounded shoulder position. Done. And if we're not careful when we're doing our weight training, and we're in improper body positions or improper alignment, we can really injure our joints, especially the shoulder joint. It's a very common one. So that's a really fun one to practice if you're not sure if maybe you're compensating a little bit with your biceps curls. Okay, we're gonna turn up the volume again with some squat thrusts. And again, you're more than welcome to use your elevated surface. I'm gonna go ahead and begin that way just to show you, and if you already know this one, go right to the floor. Here we go. Attack the floor. We're gonna bend our knees, plant our hands below our shoulders, step, or jump it back, step, or jump it forward, and add a little pop at the top. You can also slow this down, do step touches, do a body squat at the top without jumping. Totally your choice. You can also do this right down on the mat, like I mentioned. Either way, keep it moving. You've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Way to go. Whew. Okay, we're gonna work some more of those back muscles now. Really keep that balance in our entire rotator cuff. Here we go. Bending down, bending the knees, picking up your weighted objects for some reverse flies. So I'm gonna step my feet just about hip distance apart, putting my shoulders back and down into their sockets so that I'm in a nice neutral position. And then I'm gonna hinge forward at the hips to about a 45-degree angle. And from here, I'm gonna pretend I have wings and fly my arms up and out to the sides. Now your wingtip is like your pinky finger. So your pinky finger can totally turn slightly up towards the ceiling each time you come up. Great job. Feel the action happening between your shoulder blades. 8 to 12 here is perfect. You may want to adjust the amount of resistance that you're using. Feel free to experiment to see what works for you. Remember, you can pause this video anytime. You're in control. Last one. Whew. Great work. Okay, I'm gonna keep my weighted objects in my hands. I'm thinking about my biceps curls again, and coming right back against the wall, and really engaging your shoulders against the wall. From here, we're gonna curl right up to our shoulders. Great job. Breathe in as you come down. Exhale as you come up. Excellent work. Come on. Your goal is 8 to 12. Nice and smooth and controlled. Control the descent as you come down. You don't need to rush those. So good. Amazing job. When we're training the upper body, we like to really focus on working complementary muscles as we go. Great job. You got a lot of good bicep and tricep stabilization and done. Action in your plank to down dog, and lots of bicep action here. We're working both the chest and the back muscles together. We're getting lots of core in today, lots of back stabilization, so everything in your upper body is synergizing together in this workout. All right, are we ready? We're gonna do another set of squat thrusts. Get yourself in position. Remember, you can take the elevated variation anytime. And bend the knees, plant the hands, step, or jump it back to your tall plank that you worked on before. Step it, jump it forward, load the weight in your heels, and repeat. Great work, come on. You can totally slow this down at any point. Take out the jumping. If your heart rate's going up a little too high, otherwise stick with it as long as you can. Be very mindful of your hand placement. Yes, amazing job. So much core in this movement. Last 3, 2, 1. Nice quick little burn. Reverse flies. Round 2. Bend the knees to pick up your weighted objects. Always protect your back in that way. Whew. So good. Catch your breath. Feeling it. I'm right there with you. Step your feet about a little bit hip distance or less. Shoulders back into their sockets, and hinge it forward at the hips, engaging your core. Nice flat back, and fly your nice big wings out and up. Feeling the work happening between your shoulder blades as if you had wings. Think of where your wings attach and where the movement initiates from. Beautiful work. Yes, I am breathing heavily. I love this style of training because we're combining strength and cardio and complementary movements. I love it. So much fun. Last one for me. Great work. All right, let's take a quick breather and have a little water. move into our final superset, super circuit, superset, whatever you want to call it. And what we mean by super circuit or a superset is that you've got a series of 2 to 4 moves that you're going to repeat for a certain amount of rounds. That's all that means. Woo! That felt great. Okay, so we've done some great back strengthening with the resistance equipment. Now we're going to do an isometric, which means just holding it, chest press, including some lower ab focus. So go ahead and come down onto your back and bring your weighted objects to either side of you so that you can easily grab a hold of them. Lower down, keeping your knees bent. And we're going to activate blueberry spine. And if you already know blueberry spine, you just go right ahead and get it in there. So we're going to notice the curve in our lower back. We're going to imagine we have a big fat blueberry, and we're going to slide the blueberry below the highest point of our lower back, which is usually right about below your belly button. From here, you're going to flatten that blueberry to the floor. And it's not like you're totally forcing it, you're not totally squashing it, but you are flattening it out. And that's going to give you that feeling of braced abdominals, right? Just like you felt when you were in your plank. From here, let's go ahead and pick up our weighted objects. Suck your shoulders right down to the floor as if you were standing up against the wall. And at the same time, press your hands up and away from you. Just hold this. Great. From here, keeping your back touching the floor, you're just going to bring your knees up to the left, bring them down, slide them out, bring them up to the right, bring them down, slide them up, bring them up to the left. Now, if you're able to easily accomplish this without your back lifting, you go right ahead and straighten your legs out and bring them side to side. Now, there's no hip raise with this. We're just really isolating and controlling the descent of our legs or bent knees down to the floor, and then bringing our feet up towards the right side, down, and then up and to the left side. So you can imagine it's like a windshield wiper in a car, right? It goes down and then it comes up, it goes down, and then it comes up. But this is a floor wiper because we're on the floor. We're holding our arms up straight, and we're really holding that blueberry down on the mat this entire time. Really focus on blueberry spine here. That's what it's all about with this one. So good. Excellent, excellent work. Up and over. Down, up, and over. Great job. Hang in there. Anytime you can switch this to the knees, tap the feet, knees, tap the feet. All of these variations are going to work your lower abdominals. The secret is to work your lower abs without hurting or straining your low back. We want to always train those two areas to work together, and that's one of the great reasons to use variations or modifications. There will be days when you'll actually want to rely on those mods because you're just feeling more tired, and they can come in and be your friend and serve you. So never look down on yourself or beat yourself up for changing the move. It's always good to have options. All right, you can stop. Now from here, I want you to put your hands behind your knees, rock yourself forward, putting your feet just in front of you. Place your hands beside you, and you're using your core strength. You're going to come up into a low crouch. You can also use furniture in front of you if that's helpful. Put your hands down again. And this time I want you to roll back onto your back and use a little of that momentum to bring you up. Again, roll back. Use a little momentum. Maybe you can get your arms in front of you, or you're going to hold on to a couch. This is all core training, all lower core training. There's so much that goes in to bringing you from standing to sitting and sitting to standing, especially when you are laying down. So now we're going to work on coming all the way up to a standing position. Nice. And lower yourself back down. Feel free to hold on to furniture in front of you as needed, or maybe you want to put your hands behind you and then sweep your arms up overhead as you come to stand. Please feel free to use your hands, and really I want you to use your momentum. So come down with control, lower your butt down, rock yourself back, and then roll yourself up and come to standing. Really do not be bothered by the fact that this is challenging. Putting these things together is how we teach our bodies to do this. I always hear things from people, they're like, I still can't do that. Like, that's okay. Your body is clearly challenged and it's getting stronger because you're practicing. All right, want to try a couple jumps? So some of you may know this one already. And you want to put it all together, adding in the jump. Give me 3 of those if you're up for it. We're gonna do those in our next round. Everybody who's ready for that. And if you're not, it's okay. You're working on it, right? Okay, we're gonna now work our triceps on purpose because we're really wanting to work the antagonist muscle group. So agonist, curl, antagonist, extension. So flexion, extension, flexion, extension. So we're gonna work the 2 different muscle groups that accomplish these tasks. So I'm just gonna simply come into a chair pose. So once again, shoulders come back, feet are pretty close together. We're gonna sink it down into a chair, bring our arms up into a little bend position, elbows staying close to our ribs, gaze is just in front of us, and we're gonna kick those arms back. Kick them back. Each time I kick back, my palms turn up towards the sky. You've just got about 8 to 10 here total. 3, 2, 1. Excellent work. Right back down to your mat for the floor wiper movement. Gonna really isolate the chest. Press those arms straight up overhead. Press your lower back down into the mat, finding blueberry spine. Either straighten or keep your knees bent. And begin. Toes up to the right. Heels touch the ground, toes up to the left. Heels touch the ground. Great job. Keep action and energy flowing through your arms, even as your shoulders suck down to touch the mat, just like you were when you were in your standing biceps curls. Great work. Come on, you got this. This is all lower core. I just love this workout today. And if you have more time or you want more, feel free to repeat it. Really, really great. Awesome, awesome moves today. Keep breathing. Feeling those lower abs getting a little spicy yet? So good. Hang in there. Last 2 on each side. You can do it. And last 1. All right, we're gonna set those weighted objects down. And from here, if you're ready, go ahead and rock your hands behind your knees, coming up to standing. And again, lower down, feel free, put your hands down. Use the furniture, come up, jump or come to standing, up, power. Really, anything you're doing here within your own limits is gonna be powerful. It's gonna be working your lower abs. It's a ton of coordination. The goal is to get your feet back as far as possible towards your seat, to get them underneath you so that you have something to push off from. Woo! I know it's not easy. You're doing great. Come on, fight for it. Don't get down on yourself if you're not doing it exactly like me. I had to build up to these things too. Last 3, 2, and 1. All right, my hair is falling down. All right, let's get it back up. Take a quick breather. And we're gonna do our triceps kickbacks. All right, Rockstar, get ready. Get your weighted objects out and back in your hands. Here we go. We're gonna stand tall, shoulders back into their sockets. We're gonna bend the knees, coming into our little chair pose. Elbows stay in close to our ribs, and we kick it back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, you got this. 4, 3, 2, last 1. Stand tall, last set. All the way down, find your blueberry spine. Press your arms up straight overhead. Back is touching. Straighten the legs or keep them bent. And feet up, down, and over. Great work. Up, to the left, down, and over. Remember, there's no hip raise that's needed here. We're really just challenging our lower abdominals and working our back and core together, really integrating everything. So good. Remember, you can bend the knees. That's also a great way to do this. Keep breathing. This is the last Last round of our final super circuit. You're doing great. Try to keep your back down. Last 2 each side. 1 and 2. Last 1 and 2. Amazing work. Let's set those weighted objects down at our sides. From your back position, reach your hands behind your knees. Use your momentum to come up to stand. And again, sit yourself down, roll back, come up. Feel free to add the jump, or feel free to keep using your hands, using your furniture, jump, or just come up to standing. You got this. There. Down, back, and up. Oh my gosh, it's everywhere. Up, down, back, and up. So good. Just a few more. Come on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay, our very last move, we're gonna finish this workout strong. Triceps kickbacks, okay? So get yourself ready. Take a quick breather. Feel free to fix your hair, although hopefully you don't have hair challenges today. But you know, cardio moves, they're great at that. I use cloth hair ties because I don't like my hair to break. So they're not very strong. That's one of the reasons. And I have a lot of hair. That's why my hair falls out a lot. It's okay. It's the least of my worries. Okay, stand tall, shoulders back in their sockets. Engage your core. Find balance through your feet. Sink your hips back slightly, keeping your chest up. Engage your core. Elbows in close to your ribs. And then kick your arms out and back behind you, turning your palms up as you get there. Great job. Come on, this is the last move. 6, 7, squeeze your shoulders back. Come on, keep your chest open. 2, last 1. Oh my goodness, great job. Go ahead and set down your weighted objects. Amazing work. Feel free to do some additional stretching. I have an amazing workout here on the blog that is actually a series of stretches for all the different parts of your body. I recommend utilizing those stretches now to stretch out your chest, triceps, biceps, and core. That would be awesome as a follow-up if you have time. You can also do a little walking to cool yourself down as needed. Depends on how winded you are from this workout. I always am inviting you to check out Rock Your Life, my amazing Inner Circle women's fitness community, where we host 30-day challenges. There are tons of pre-done 30-day home workout challenges that you can choose from at any time to start, so you have a plan and a push, a daily email push to keep you on track. And of course, we offer new classes 5 days a week, myself and the Team Betty Rocker coaches, those amazing women who are all there to support you every day inside of our fabulous private women's fitness community as well, where you can ask us questions, share your journey, and get all of the support from the other amazing women from around the world who you will be happy to call new friends as you get yourself into the community. We'd love to invite you in there. You can get a 30-day trial and join us anytime, and we welcome you. So check it out, Rock Your Life. I'll leave a link. And until I see you again next time, Rockstar, I'm Betty Rocker, and you are so awesome and amazing. Thank you so much for joining me. See you again soon.